Hi everybody, I'm Wendy Fargo with Crooked House Herbals, and I'm here today to talk to you about lupus. Lupus is a chronic autoimmune disease in which your immune system attacks the body's own healthy tissue and organs. It turns on itself. It causes high levels of inflammation, which can negatively affect every part of your body. Your lungs, your kidneys, your endocrine system, your joints, your brain, just about everything. Because lupus symptoms are really similar to other diseases such as thyroid disorders and Lyme's disease and even fibromyalgia, they're struggling to find ways to diagnose lupus. It tends to cause periods of immense flare-up, followed by remission. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down, and it's a really hard one to get a handle on. Common signs and symptoms of it include fatigue, headaches, joint pain, insomnia, GI tract problems, skin rashes, which all of these things are seen in many other conditions these days in our American society, especially. So, what causes lupus? The exact cause, as with most autoimmune disorders, is still not entirely agreed upon by the medical community. But researchers do agree on one thing, that the lifestyle of the person plays a huge role in triggering inflammation. So that's basically our baseline. The one thing they all have in common is inflammation. So let's think about that for a second. It's really not rocket science. Potential lupus causes allergic reactions, or these things include allergic reactions like food allergies sometimes, viruses, emotional stress, estrogen disruption due to pregnancy or birth control, hormonal imbalances in general, poor digestion, and metal toxicity, which people don't really think about, but it's huge. And we're all subject to that. Now, most of those things that I just mentioned, that are all potential lupus causes, appear mostly in women. And oddly enough, it's women that have the high percentage of lupus diagnosed cases. Men don't get it as much. So that kind of leads me to think that there's probably a hormone issue in there. Just throwing all this stuff out there because we're going to see where I'm going with this in a minute. You probably already know. But when you think about it, the standard American diet, I said it. By the way, the acronym for that is SAD. The standard American diet, along with the American lifestyle, which isn't much better, you put both of those things together, which involves eating poorly and having way too much on your plate, metaphorically speaking, stress coming at you from all areas of life. They're probably the major contributions to almost all diseases. But women, in general, have a tendency to eat even more poorly and even take more stress on because that's our nature. And we have a tendency to fix everybody else before we fix ourselves. And I am preaching to the choir here. Okay, I know. But you need to listen to me because it all adds up. And then it gets a nice little label like lupus or fibromyalgia. And then you get to walk around with this diagnosis and you get to take drugs and you get to carry it like a badge. And if that's something you want, and if you enjoy that attention, then you're on the right track. Just keep doing exactly what you're doing. But if you truly are miserable and tired of feeling crappy and not being able to be involved in things like you want to be, or even just to feel like yourself, then you need to take the reins and you need to at least consider what I'm saying. Dr. Christopher, the founder of the School of Natural Healing, he suggests, I love this, that all diseases can be narrowed down to one cause: constipation. Now, he's not just talking about bowel constipation or constipation in your intestines, but he's talking about constipation in every area: your organs, your arteries, your emotions, your spiritual life. Those things can all become constipated, and they do on a regular basis, whether you want to admit it or not. So this is one of those soul-searching video blogs, and you're just going to have to either soak it in and maybe think about it, or just dismiss me. Either way, it's up to you. But constipation, he was onto something. If something is constipated, it's stuck. It can't move. It can't flow. It can't produce. Think about it. Constipated blood is a blood clot. Constipated emotions become rage or anger or fear. So think about it. Now, if you want to cool off inflammation in your body, you have to find the source of it. So you treat the fire, not the smoke, right? So we've got to find the source of the inflammation. Now, physicians, generally speaking, I'm not talking about all of them, but generally speaking, are taught to treat the symptoms, not the cause. So what needs to happen to treat the cause is we are going to have to dig deep and figure out in our own lives what are some of these potential causes. Okay, things like leaky gut syndrome, which is a big popular trendy phrase right now, but I'm telling you, it's basically a perforated gut, and you need to deal with that because it's leaking and toxins are going into parts of your body that they're not supposed to be in. So that's another story. We won't get into leaky gut, but that is one thing that is a big one. Also, food allergies. I have never in my life seen so many people allergic to so many things. Now, a lot of that is more than likely due to the fact that our food isn't real anymore. Most of it is genetically modified. And if you are not paying attention to what you're eating, you're setting yourself up for allergic reactions, which is probably just your body going, what the heck is this? This is not real. My body doesn't like this. Okay? It's not a food allergy, it's a toxin allergy. That would be a better word for it. Okay, so you have food allergies, you have leaky guts. How about metal toxicity? We talked about that. That is something that you're getting, whether you like it, from your water, from your toothpaste, from the whatever things you slather on your skin, from possibly your vocation, jewelry. We get a lot of metal every day. And our bodies, this organ, remember we talked about this before, absorbs. So again, it's up to you to be aware, and you can poo-poo this all you want, but I'm telling you, life ain't like it used to be, okay? And everything is accelerated and very intense. And if you aren't careful about what you put in your mouth and on your skin, then you're going to end up with some weird disease like lupus. Okay? Only because your body can only take so much. It needs a little help. So, you see that it all comes back to diet and lifestyle choices. So let's talk about this for a minute. When you ask why you are sick, it's best to begin here: diet and lifestyle. For those of you who really do desire to take more control of your health and your well-being, I say begin at the beginning. Go back to the basics. Eat a diet that's free of mucus-forming foods. Those things are dairy, meat, eggs. Those are the three main ones, but lots of things form mucus, and some people are more sensitive to mucus than others. So you need to be the judge of that, but you need to be aware of it. And don't put it in your mouth just because you think you want it. Eat more live food, preferably organically grown and free of GMO type stuff and pesticides, more toxins. Drink fresh juice, eat fruits, nuts, seeds, but just make sure that they haven't been sprayed with every chemical known to man before you put them in your mouth. It's going to be helpful. Okay. Let's see. We've got diet, we've got lifestyle. Okay, lifestyle also involves things like stress. And for that, you need to think about doing some deep breathing. I know you hear it all the time, but we don't get enough oxygen because we don't breathe correctly. Just concentrating and focusing for 1 minute every hour. Take 1 minute every hour and take deep breaths. And see if that doesn't just clear up your head and make your work production more efficient. You will be more creative. You'll have more stamina. Just breathe. Okay, breathe. Okay, there's some studies that say grains contribute to inflammation, and especially of lupus. But I would like to say as well that the grains that you eat most likely are genetically modified and they're fake grain. They're not even real. Okay, so that makes matters worse in some sense. But to make it even more detrimental to your health, it's dead when you eat it if you cook it. So when in doubt, skip the grains. But if you really, really want grain in your diet, then you need to make sure that it's organically grown and try to not cook it to death. If you want to cook it, then it needs to be low heat cooked, which means you have to plan for it. Either buy a couple crock pots, for crying out loud, or take the time to cook it slowly. Don't boil the heck out of it or microwave it, okay? Leave it in its as much natural state as possible. Otherwise, don't eat it because there's no point. It's just filler. Okay, autoimmunity. What is it and how does it occur? Okay, I'm going to read you something that's very interesting. Statistics that I found from a doctor, and I find this enlightening. It says, we are facing an epidemic of allergic, 60 million people, asthmatic, 30 million people, and autoimmune disorders, 24 million people. Autoimmune diseases include rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, multiple sclerosis, psoriasis, celiac disease, thyroid disease, and many other hard to classify syndromes in the 21st century. I love that part. These are all autoimmune conditions, which remember, that means your body's attacking itself. It's totally confused. And at their root, they are connected by one central biochemical process, a runaway immune response, also known as systemic inflammation, that results in your body attacking its own tissues. So, this isn't some mutated disease that's landed from some other planet. This has been self-induced by our own society, for the most part. And I'll tell you why. Because you can get rid of it. You just have to decide that you want to. And that's where, that's where the ball goes completely into your court. Your immune system is your defense against invaders. It is your internal army. And it has to clearly distinguish friend from foe, to know you from another. So autoimmunity occurs when your immune system gets confused. and your own tissues get caught in friendly crossfire. And somehow it redirects its hostile and infection, toxic, allergen, stress response, whatever it is, and it redirects it to attack your own joints, your own organs, your brain, your whatever. And you become inflamed. Now, can you picture that? I can. I can picture an army thinking it's supposed to attack here, but somehow it gets its signals crossed and it starts attacking here instead. So it happens in the real army, so why can't it happen in your body's army? Your signals are getting crossed. What's crossing your signals? Well, the only sources of signaling that you have in your body are biological and neurological, correct? And they all are affected by one or two things: the nutrition that you take in and the water that you take in. So it's really that simple. And you can complicate it if you want to, and you can, you can dress it up and make it more than it really is. But what it boils down to is you've got cross signals. You don't have brain damage, you have malnutrition, and you're drinking water that doesn't help. We are mostly water. Our brains are mostly water. We need the right stuff. Metals will create lots of noise in there. So, what are you going to do about it? Oh, another thing that I think is interesting is that autoimmune disorders mostly occur in developed countries. You don't find a whole lot of lupus in backwoods India or, the bush or some of those other places. It's the developed countries that have these autoimmune disorders. Again, it gets back to diet and lifestyle. You're complicating your life way too much. You need to simplify things and rein it in. So, what can you do? After talking about all of this, it's very simple. You need to clean up your house. It's going to take some effort on your part, and you're going to have to really humble yourself and come to terms with how you're eating, how you're living, what you're allowing into your life, the stress that you're allowing to pound on you, because everything that's happening to you, you are allowing to happen. You can say no. But a lot of us are addicted to suffering. And I know that's going to offend some people, but it's true. You like the attention. You like being able to have something or someone to blame. You're addicted to the suffering. So again, if that's, no judging here. I'm not judging. I'm just saying if it's something you really truly want to break free of, then you're going to have to humble yourself enough to examine your own life and do something about it. So what can you do? Well, you can start by removing sugars from your body. Don't even eat them anymore for a long time, because a lot of stuff like yeast is fed by sugar, and sugar is in almost everything. So you're going to have to be careful with that. But certainly don't go piling it on in your coffee and everything else as well. Back off the sugar. Okay? Start to take apple cider vinegar, the raw stuff with the mother, the floaty stuff in the bottom. A tablespoon 3 times a day. Morning, noon, and night. Why? Because that balances your pH and it starts the cleansing process. It's going to help you detoxify. It'll help you. Pretty soon you'll notice you don't have any more acid reflux. Your joints are going to start feeling better. Your food allergies will go away. Simple, and it's cheap. Apple cider vinegar 3 times a day. Let's see, what else do I have written down here? Let's just take a look at my list. Oh, how about let's do a heavy metal detox? Now, there's different ways to do that, but I kind of really like Dr. Hulda Clark's program. And at the bottom of this video, you'll find some links to a couple of her websites, and you can actually just to order it online, or you can do your own. There's plenty of them out there, but you need to detox the heavy metals. One way or the other, do it. And don't just do it once. Schedule it in like a quarterly cleanse. Like when you get your car's oil changed, detox your metals. Okay? Most people take better care of their vehicles than they do their own bodies. Time to change that. Okay. One thing you can do immediately is you can change the water you drink. You can do it the hard way or the easy way. You know, you can get the charcoal and you can start, filtering your own water or whatever. Or you can just drink distilled water, which I've talked to you about before. Distilled water is hungry water. It will grab those metals, it'll grab those minerals and all of those other toxins, and it will flush out of your body. Drink distilled water. Exercise regularly. That is a natural anti-inflammatory. I know, it's a hard one, but do it. Another thing I'm going to say is take cayenne pepper every day. Why? Because first of all, it will keep your blood nice and thin. It will regulate your blood pressure. It will heal up an ulcerated gut. And I know you think, how can cayenne pepper heal up? Oh, no, sir, but I'm telling you, it does. And if you really want to know, call me. I'll talk to you about cayenne pepper. But you need to take 1 to 2 capsules twice a day. Start it today. We offer at Crooked House Herbals several different immune boosting products. And I'm going to give you a little list. You can go to the link that's on the site, or it might actually be coming up on this video. I'm not sure. But take a look at these as well. Our Active Immune Tonic is a powerful, powerful natural tonic. Doesn't taste all that great. Some people like it actually, but it's an acquired taste. Let's just put it that way. This will boost your immune system through the roof. It will also kick the flu, strep, colds. It's really good stuff. It takes me like 4 months to make it. So I have a new batch rolling out in the next couple weeks, but that is one thing to take a look at. Another one is my Vital Living elderberry syrup, which is also organically grown here. And I add ginger and clove, cinnamon, hibiscus, and a pinch of turmeric into my elderberry syrup. Turmeric is also by itself a good anti-inflammatory, and I would start including that in whatever you can put it into. I like the turmeric milk, which the recipe is on my website. If you go to the recipe section and click on golden milk, it's an awesome evening beverage. I would highly recommend it. So, but elderberry syrup is a high source of potassium. It's a kick butt anti-inflammatory, and I would highly recommend that one as well. The rosy syrup is elderberry syrup with added rose hips for extra vitamin C. I also have something called Vital Immune Boost tincture, which is a different formula that I made, and it's made with astragalus, alfalfa, dandelion. It's got elderberry syrup in it. It's got shiitake mushroom and reishi mushroom, and I think that's it. But that one also really boosts the immune system from another way. And it's really helpful for those who maybe have weak kidneys or, have some organ issues. It's top notch. These are things that the whole family can use, but especially those of you that are struggling with your immune system. I would highly recommend clean out your house and then put some boosters in there to keep things rolling and keep things building back up. And you're going to notice that eventually, as with most herbal things, all of a sudden you just feel better and things are fading away. Things are falling off, and you don't have this anymore, and you don't have that anymore. And you know what? My hands feel better. And you're just going to start noticing these things. So just do it. But don't start it with great passion and then 2 weeks down the road decide, I don't want to do this anymore. I would rather just go back to eat at McDonald's, or let's go have fried catfish and blah, 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 and to heck with this. It doesn't work because herbs are all natural, they're organic, and they're going to work with your body and your system. And if your system is all trashed, it's going to take longer for you to see effects. So clean out your body and then introduce good herbal remedies, and you will have much better success. And stay with it. Be patient. It took you, I don't know how many years to get into this condition. So don't expect that overnight you're going to get out of it. Because if that's what you're looking for, then you might as well go to the doctor and let them give you some kind of a drug, because that's what that's all about. Okay? All right. Well, nice talking with you. Have a wonderful week. And remember that we do what we do here because we really believe that nature heals you best. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Until we meet again.